Apparently everybody's bitching about the trees here. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna fill them in a little more. Okay?
It's your painting, man.
It's my painting. Whatever. So I'm gonna load up the brush, the fan brush again. Everybody's got a fucking opinion. I'm just gonna fill them in. So now the trees are a little filled in. Maybe everybody else will be fucking happy. I'll suck it. I filled in the trees a little bit more because, I don't know, some people just have like opinions about my shit. And we're gonna move on to the next step. I'm gonna use the same color, basically the same mixture that we used for the mountain. I'm gonna take a little sap green and I'm gonna add it to that. Get a little more of the sap green in there. A little more black too. Get a good amount of the color in here. Throw some of the brown in there as well. I should think these paintings through a little more before I just go and do them, but you know, I want to make it like as like authentic as possible, like off the cuff type of thing. All right. The reason why I'm saying that is because I could have just kept my dirty fan brush, and because I already had a dark color on it, and just used that. Let me just dry this off a little bit. So let's put some trees in here, up a little closer here. So I'm gonna load the fan brush up with that dark color I just mixed. Just tap. Get a nice little line right there. And then what you want to do is just take the corner of your brush and just your first tree right there. Let's put in a few more here. Load up the fan brush. Have one like kind of right next to it, and maybe it's a little shorter. All right. Just put in your line, one of your brush. Just start working it in there. You can run right into the other one because what we're gonna do is we're gonna put in some highlights too, to kind of like separate them a little bit. Got two trees there. I guess they're like girlfriends and they're like best friends or something, right? Like kind of tall and slender, you know. Maybe they're like the sexy bunch of the forest there. Just like in life, when you got two sexy ones, you got a grenade right next to it. Let's say the grenade lives. Let's go right here. Alright, there's the grenade. Now, I'm going to start outlining the grenade a little bit here. Maybe this one is a little shorter, thicker, you know, like a lot thicker. Because trees are kind of like people. They're all different shapes and sizes and they all look different. And I mean, who knows why that is? I don't know. Maybe this one is a little wider than the others because it eats instead of faces or problems, but I don't know. You decide that in your own world. All right, we're gonna take a nice clean dry brush here, and we're gonna go into the same color we were making the trees, but with a 2-inch brush. What you're gonna do is you're gonna take it and like pull it in one direction. All right. Boom, 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 boom. All right, it's gonna round off the bottom corner of it. I'm gonna take that towards the top, and it's gonna give you like the indication of like grass, bushes, leaves, shit like that. All right. All you gotta do is just kind of tap the canvas. Okay. See that? Alright, so you got your basic land cut out right there, and so now what we're going to do is I'm going to drop the brush in the thinner here. I'm going gonna work on some highlights, particularly on the trees. Okay. Now, one of the things you want to keep in mind is that a thin paint will stick to a thick paint. Okay. So when we're putting these highlights on, we want the paint consistency to be a little thinner than what's on there, so this way it'll stick easier. Things like the yellow right here, they're kind of made a little thinner on purpose just for that reason. And if you want to thin it up a little more, you can just kind of grab some thinner, put it on your brush, maybe like shake it off. You really don't need much. You can just kind of like drop it right in there, and it'll loosen up that paint. See how that kind of like really loosened it up, Matt? And a little bit watery. You're still going to use the corner of your brush, all right? And just like we did when we made the trees, using the corner of the brush and kind of go back and forth. That's what you want to do when you're doing the highlights, just here and there. If you notice, I'm going to stop on the right side of the tree. I still have to do this one. The reason being is because this is where the light's coming from, okay? So that's what's going to be highlighted the most, okay? Just in case you're wondering. And everything else will fill in, you'll see. Load up your brush a little bit more. And kind of go in and do the next one here. Kind of like drop it right in there. Alright, that should do it for your highlights on your trees. You step back, it's pretty much what you have. Alright, now you can go back, you know, and change some things, like maybe like say this area right here. After you step back, you think it's a little too much, you can kind of just tap it out a little bit. Whatever you want, you know. Alright, get a little more down here. And a lot of this is going to end up, you know, towards the bottom here, might be hidden when we put the rest of what we're doing in here. Got our trees and our basic ground. Take the tip of the knife. I'm just gonna scratch in here and there. Just some indications of some twigs. Just here and there. Some here. Some here. Alright, so now you got a bunch of like little twiggy looking things here, alright? Obviously it's not that difficult, so you shouldn't have a problem with it. So what I'm going to do now is, I'm actually going to go with a 1-inch brush, okay? And just like what I was saying before, thinner paint will stick to a thicker paint. I'm going to take a little bit of the liquid white on the brush. Alright, I'm going to kind of just drop it in there. Take some of the yellow, because that's already, like I said before, it's made to a thinner consistency intentionally. Put that in there. Alright, and with the green that I had already mixed, you just want to loosen up paint. I'm going to pull in one direction just like we did before, okay? You want to get a lot of paint in there, okay? You see that? Same way we did the ground. The ground's tied up, alright? And you're just going to tap some highlights into here. Okay? You got one bush right there. Come on over here. Put around another bush. Just work your way around. You could even decide maybe you want a little darker green in there, so you can grab some of your sap green. If you really want to kind of like get a little tricky with it, like here, got some red right here, and you just throw just a little bit of red right on the tip of the brush there. Same tapping technique. Kind of have a bush with some flowers on it. right in there. Work it the whole way around. The whole idea here is to, want to work in layers, okay? So we did the first layer, those are the bushes that are furthest away. So come here. Try a little different color down here. Try a little red, a little getting yellow, that green. Almost like a fall looking color. Maybe a bush that might have some berries on it or something. Pull it out. Put on your next layer. I don't know if you can see that on camera, Matt, but the throwing the red in there, it's like right in the center here, and it's just got a nice warm touch of pink to it, and I really think it makes it come out nice. And anybody that knows me, I mean, you know that there's nothing I love more than a nice warm pink center. Alright. If you follow along, this is exactly what you should have. If you've done everything I told you to, you'll have yourself a nice, beautiful piece of artwork. If you've gone and done your own thing, you're probably the proud owner of a horrendous piece of shit. So, we're gonna stop right here, and then until next week, when we do another painting, hope you enjoy yourselves. Rock on.